What do you see?
I see travel.
For whom?
I don't know. I feel action and speed.
What else?
I see a fool.
Who?
Cannot be you.
No.
I see a winner. Riding. Fast. Victory.
Good. What more?
I see death.
Live and Let Die by Ian Fleming, dramatised by Archie Scottney, starring Toby Stephens as James Bond, John Standing, Rutina Wesley, Josh Stamberg, Jonathan Cake, Levinsky Jean-Baptiste, James Morrison, Ron Cephas-Jones as Quarrel, and Kevin Daniels as Mr. Big. Martin Jarvis is the voice of Ian Fleming.
1954, Regent's Park. A reading lamp with a green glass shade. A pool of light across the top of M's desk. M, head of the Secret Intelligence Service MI6, fished something out of his waistcoat pocket and tossed it towards James Bond.
Ever seen one of these, 007?
No, sir. What's it worth?
Guess.
£5?
Don't be silly, 007. 20 to a collector.
Really?
Probably more. It's an Edward IV noble. And here. That one's Spanish, 1510. This is French. These are Italian, 1640.
New hobby, sir?
If only. Notice anything in common?
Well, they're all gold.
Bloody Morgan.
I'm sorry?
All minted before 1650. Sir Henry Morgan, pirate. Governor of Jamaica, 1674 to whatever. British Museum says this is almost certainly part of Bloody Morgan's treasure. What?
Nothing, sir. Silver. Not gold.
Eh? Anyway, hell of a nest egg. Nearly 1,000 of these coins have turned up in the US in the last few months. And they keep on coming.
Have the FBI announced them as stolen property?
No. The source will dry up.
Melted down?
Exactly. A lot of the larger transactions have taken place in Harlem, or down in Florida.
Interesting.
And James, I'm pretty sure I know where the treasure is. Not in America at all. Jamaica. And it is Morgan's. One of the most valuable troves in history.
Where does MI6 come in?
Well, briefly, our Station C is interested in a diesel yacht, the Secretary, been running from a small island off Jamaica. Isle of Surprise, it's called, into St. Petersburg, west coast of Florida. With the FBI's help, we've traced the ownership of this boat to a man called, wait for it, Mr. Big, gangster. He actually lives in Harlem. You heard of him?
Afraid not.
And listen, a marked $20 bill, which had been paid for one gold coin, was, a week later, paid out by one of Mr. Big's lieutenants to an FBI double agent, member of the Communist Party.
So this Jamaican hoard is what? Financing part of the Soviet espionage system in America?
What else, 007? And when I tell you who this Mr. Big is...
Go on, sir.
Head of the Black Widow cult.
Ooh,
Also a Soviet agent. Oh, and this should interest you, James. A known member of SMERSH.
Well, I can see how it might all fit together.
Born in Haiti. Trained in Moscow, too, as you'll see from the file. Brains, ability, guts, and a killer. This is supposed to be him.
It was hard to tell.
FBI's best shot.
Well, always keen to meet a member of SMERSH.
We're ready to start in 2 days. New York, joint CIA FBI job. And don't step on the FBI's toes. Oh, by the way, the cult believes him to be Baron Samedi himself.
Baron who?
It's all in there. Voodoo. Think zombies or living corpses. It'll frighten the living daylights out of you. Good luck, 007.
Mr. James Bond.
Oh, hello.
Pardon me, Mr. Bond. FBI. My name's Tim Halloran. My badge. Privilege, sir.
How do you do?
Oh, I'm good, thanks. Fine. I hope you had a pleasant flight. I'll take your bag. Would you follow me, please, Mr. Bond? Thank you.
One of the reddest carpets I've seen. Through immigration like lightning. Who laid it on?
Oh, you're so welcome, sir. The FBI aims to make your stay comfortable. As do I. Well, I mean...
Thanks.
Mm-hmm. I've not been told why you're here, but I know you were, an honored guest, naturally. So my job is to, stick to you like white on rice. And get you to your hotel as quickly and comfortably as possible. Then hand you over. Oh, got this for you.
No, that's all
pardon
right.
me, but it's communist money. $1,000 in there, Mr. Bond. We took it, well, my masters did, in a recent haul.
Using it back at them?
I believe so. I am instructed to say that the disposal of this money, as you like, has the approval of your own chief.
Then I daren't refuse. I'll spend it where it does most harm.
Yeah, cool. We'll soon be into Manhattan, Mr. Bond. Quite a skyline.
I hate to say it, but this must be the fattest atomic bomb target on the face of the globe.
Oh, I guess so.
Okay, I'll take it from here, Halloran. Greetings, Mr. Bond. Captain Dexter, FBI.
Hello there.
Halloran, have his bag sent up, 2100 top floor.
Yes, sir.
Follow me, Mr. Bond.
Oh, thanks, Halloran. Bye.
An honor, sir. Good luck.
Mr. Bond, this way.
Sorry, did you see the black Chevrolet pulling out into the traffic?
Something wrong?
Well, I shouldn't think so. Big guy in the back seat taking an interest. Anyway, it's gone now. Lead on.
Straight in and through to the elevators. Got a little surprise for you, Mr. Bond.
What the hell?
Just been arranging the flowers by your bed, James.
Felix Leiter.
How you doing?
What in God's name? What the hell are you doing in my bedroom anyway?
CIA. Service with a smile.
Why aren't you in Paris? Don't tell me they put you on this job.
What a break. Central Intelligence Agency thought we did all right together on the casino caper, so they hauled me back. Sort of liaison between the CIA and our FBI pals. Washington's case, of course, Dexter. Martini's coming up, James.
Sure, but okay, there are overseas angles, which are the CIA's territory, so we run a joint.
Mm-hmm. And James, with you handling the Jamaican end for the British, the team's complete. Sit down. Lunch is on its way.
Glad to be under your orders here, Captain Dexter.
Indeed. Mr. Hoover instructs me to say he's happy to have you along, as our guest.
Drinks, gentlemen.
Oh, okay. Guess everything will go fine.
James, best of luck.
Here, cheers.
Success.
Hey, lunch. Roll right in, guys. Gentlemen, your attention. American cooking at its consummate best. Soft-shell crabs with tartar sauce. Hamburgers, medium rare from the charcoal grill. French fried potatoes. Broccoli. Mixed salad with Thousand Island dressing. Ice cream with melted butterscotch. And as good a Lieb Frau Milch as you can get in New York City. Okay?
Yummy. The melted butterscotch sounds weird.
Your coffee, sir. Good morning.
Yeah, put it on the desk. Thanks.
And this gift for you, sir.
Gift? What gift?
Package? Your friend delivered?
Huh. Lighter?
I guess. Lighter, not heavy. I don't know.
Crazy man.
Sir?
Never mind. Put it there.
Sure.
It's all right. I'll pour the coffee. Don't worry. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Have a good day, sir.
What? Hey. Shit. No. Steady, don't be an idiot. It's a gift, just a clock. But why would Felix give me a... Jeez. Okay. Not what I thought. No. No. Ugh, crazy. What is Felix playing at? Gunpowder.
Just bits of metal from the package.
All burnt up.
And the alarm?
About half a minute alarm.
I see. Hold on. What's this?
Not sure. Container?
I get this. Half-minute acid capsule, broken by the hammer stroke of the alarm. Acid eats through thin copper wire. 30 seconds later, the wire breaks, releases the plunger onto this cartridge.
A blank?
Lucky it wasn't a grenade. Plenty of room in the package. You'd have been damaged. Give me that tube thing. Aluminum. Thought so. A note? It's for you. Here.
The heart of this clock has stopped ticking. The beats of your own heart are numbered. I know that number. I have started to count. Signed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not exactly a love letter.
Yeah, but how the hell...
Black Chevrolet. I may have spotted him spotting me when I arrived, remember?
Holy cats, you serious? Okay, have to make a report. So long, Mr. Bond. Glad you came to no harm. Come down to headquarters around noon. I'll send Halloran with a car. Oh, and watch out for a duel.
Duel?
FBI versus CIA.
A report from the U.S. Coast Guard Service, James. Comings and goings of the yacht Cicada.
Secretary.
Whatever.
And these are the comments of our Customs Service, Bond, each time she docks.
Right.
Oh, sure. Secretary always ties up in the port of St. Petersburg, Florida, at the wharf of a worm and bait shippers, Robbo something.
Ouroboros Inc.
That's it.
Worm and bait? That's its business?
Yeah. Sells live bait to fishing clubs in Florida and the Gulf of Mexico.
Has a profitable sideline in seashells and coral.
And tropical fish, I believe.
Rare poisonous species, medical research.
Secretary does big business with the company, James. No criminal record.
So is this yacht bringing in treasure? If so, how?
And where's it going?
Anyone tried listening in to Secretary's wireless?
Of course, but she stays off the air except for short messages before she sails from Jamaica. Transmissions are indecipherable.
Secret voodoo speech only used by initiates.
Listen, guys, I gotta say, more gold has been showing up lately. 200 of these coins a week in Harlem and New York alone. Sorry, Mr. Bond, but if these are commie funds, they're pulling it in pretty fast. We can't just sit on our asses.
Well, come on, Dexter. It's your Mr. Hoover says to lay off. CIA want to see some action.
FBI likewise. We don't like this gangster crapping away on his own Harlem doorstep any more than you do.
While Hoover sits in Washington, leeward of the stink.
Can't you pull Mr. Big in for parking in front of a fire hydrant or something?
Sure, if you want to riot. We've got nothing on him.
You know, for once, James, FBI and CIA are in agreement. If he wasn't sprung in half an hour, those voodoo drums would start beating from here to Jamaica.
Yeah, you'd have to call out the militia. Sorry, our president gave us this case. We gotta stick with it.
Yep.
I do like Ike, by the way.
Okay, James. Latest from Washington. Hoover listens, believe it or not. They want you and me to go down to St. Petersburg, Florida tomorrow. Me to find out what I can, then move right on to Jamaica with you.
Fine. How about Harlem this evening? Get an idea of Big's backyard.
What took you so long? Meet you in the King Cole Bar, your hotel about 9. But be aware, James. There's no one to help us up in Harlem. Case isn't ripe yet. Guess our Mr. Big policy is live and let live.
So far. With a man like that, I do have another motto.
Remind me.
Live and let die.
Switchboard, switchboard.
Can't hear you, Whisperer. Boss is listening. Do you hear me?
Yes, D, I hear you.
Then pay attention. All eyes to watch out. Limey with a scar. Maybe coming in this evening. Tell them to watch on 1st to 8th and the other avenues. Night spots too in case he's missed coming in. Not to be stopped. Call me when you get a sure fix. Got it?
Yes. Thank you, D. Listen, all eyes. Get this and get it good. New instructions from the boss.
That night, Bond dressed carefully. Yellow shirt, garish tie, scarlet handkerchief in his breast pocket. He checked the magazine of his Beretta.
8 bullets, safety catch, gun in the holster, jacket.
Putting on his shoes, he felt better equipped to face the evening. Toe caps lined with steel.
Of all the gin joints in all the world, he walks into mine.
For God's sake, Felix.
You see, frankly, dear James, I really do give a damn. What do you think? Dig the suit?
Bogart?
I was hoping Clark Gable.
Oh, where's the moustache?
What the hell? They'll never know it's me. Hair stuff's only a rinse. It'll come off in the morning.
You hope.
Gotta keep on our toes. Harlem's a jungle these days.
Weren't you a bit of a fan?
Sure. Trouble with our friend Mr. Big, he's well organized. That's his Moscow training. Still, have ourselves some fun, get back in one piece. We'll take a bus. Cabs don't want to go up there after dark.
You hear me, T?
If that's your best shot, Whisper, I hear you.
Lie me with the scar. He just boarded bus number M15, corner of 5th and East 60th. Got a pal with him. Don't seem to fit the dope. Coming north, both of them.
Right. Warn the night spots and get this to Blabbermouth Foley, Miami Sam, and the Flannel. You know who else.
Yes, you bet, T. Talking to the town right now.
Do it.
Give me attention. All eyes. Stand by, Ma Frazier's on 7. Small's Paradise. Yeah, Man Club. 123rd Street. Sugar Ray's ready or not.
Smart guy, Sugar Ray Robinson.
Stashed away quite a lot, I believe.
Percentage of this place must be worth a ton. He works hard still, but not the sort that gives you a brain hemorrhage. Quit the glove game while he was still alive.
He'll probably back a Broadway show and lose it all. You can't plan for everything.
Sure, better the frying pan you know than the fire you don't. Still, not bad here. Comfortable bar, good whiskey. Master of disguise.
Clark Gable or Clark Kent.
To your health, James. Come on, let's go eat.
By the way, all this is on me. I've money to get rid of.
Suits me. Bartender.
Same scotch again, gentlemen. Haig and Haig, pinch bottle?
No thanks. We're moving on.
Bartender, can I ask you something? Know where the big man's operating tonight?
Hey, whoa. I've got a wife and kids, boss. No way.
See? Big's got the best protection of all. Fear.
Moving further up the avenue, guys. Can't be all bad days just entering Ma Frazier's. Best food in Harlem.
I'm beginning to get the hang of Mr. Big.
Nothing to do with these clams and fried chicken, Maryland.
There's the smell of all this superstition. Those shops we passed, Lucky Charms, various occultisms, 7 keys to power. Cast a spell on anyone.
The lucky whammy hand charm, protection from evil.
You can almost hear the drums.
I'll be glad to get back to my bed, but we need to size up this guy before we decide how to get at him. Waiter!
Yes, sir? Yeah, how can I help you?
Know where we can find the big man tonight?
Pardon me, I don't quite hear you, sir.
Where can we locate the big man this evening?
Sorry, sir, I can't recall no gentleman of that name. No, sir. I'll be right with you, man.
Okay, let's go. We'll try Yeah Man back on 7th, then one of Mr. Big's own joints. They open at midnight. You get the check, I'll pay a visit to the washroom, see if I can get a line on him. Don't want to have to go to all his places. Cost me $20. Word is he'll be at the Boneyard, small place on Lenox Avenue, close to his headquarters. Got the hottest strip in town, girl called Gigi Sumatra. So we'll have a drink at Yeah Man, hear the piano. Move on about 12:30.
Boneyard Club? Oh, yes, sir, boss. Good, sir, good. 5 minutes, boss? Got it. Lights out. Yes, sir, boss. Lights out.
Marijuana.
Yeah, most of the real hep cats smoke reefer. Wouldn't be allowed most places.
Interesting. Lighting by El Greco.
El who?
Felix, you have multicolored cheeks, green and red.
Okay, smartass. Your profile has the luminosity of a drowned corpse.
Cheers. Intriguing crowd. Reminds me of mess deck hijinks during the war.
Hey, where we go see Gigi? Yeah, see Gigi's right. There we go, Gigi.
How y'all doing?
Where's Gigi?
However, come on now, clear the floor. Come on, get back to your seats. Come on.
3 exits, James. Front, service behind us, behind the band.
You know what? I'm enjoying myself. Nothing new to you, of course, Felix, but to me, it's sort of the big man's raw material, the clay in his hands.
Puts flesh on all those dossiers.
Yeah, I'm getting an education.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, friends. Hey, Jimmy, lights down. Single white spot. Thank you. You see me now, folks?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. And now, folks, here they are. Mr. Jingles Jaffet and his drum.
Voodoo drummers from Haiti.
Hey, take it away, boys. Yes. Now, friends. Here she is. You've been waiting for Miss Gigi Sumatra.
Hello, boys.
Sure.
There.
Oh, my God.
Come on, baby. Do it. Yeah. Come on, you know you want to. Careful of my heart.
Okay, Chris. Yeah.
Do it.
Come on, girl. The GG agrees. But my friend, she stipulates that
She stipulates. With the lights out. Yeah? The lights out. Now! Oh, man! For God's sake, turn on the lights!
Must be an old gag.
Look out! And here they are. Lights!
Oh, my God.
Take it easy, folks. Enjoy the ride.
Tad bumpy.
Over too soon. Can I have another go?
Which is the limey?
Can't you tell?
Not him.
This one, I guess. He's got the scar.
Could you loosen your grip a little? My hands are beginning to go numb.
Shut up.
Ooh, that's my dinner. You oughtn't to miss at that range.
Thought so. Beretta.
Beretta? Show that to the boss, D.E.
Yeah, he'll laugh.
Take the limey dumb guy up. Other guy stays with me.
K-Blabber. Get up, yo.
Well, nobody can say we didn't try.
Don't waste your breath. Big man's waiting. You could tell your limey friend goodbye. You's unlikely be seeing yourselves again.
Lucky we made a date with the police to meet us here at 2. See you at the lineup.
Commissioner's gonna be pleased with this bunch. See ya.
Crap. Get going.
Come on, move it, limey.
Bring our visitor in, T.
Yes, sir, boss.
Good morning, Mr. James Bond. It is morning, isn't it? Be seated.
Morning. Thanks. What a delightful room. There's no furniture so charming as books. Sidney Smith. Very restful.
A room with no books is like a body without a soul.
Raymond Chandler?
No, Cicero.
Ah, equally good.
T, you stay.
Yes, sir, boss.
Mr. Bond, in case you have any other intentions, lean forward, if you will. Inspect the keyhole of the drawer in this desk facing your chair. I shall be ready for you.
Quite large. 0.45 of an inch. You're quite a Houdini. bomb package at the hotel, trap door, vanishing table. And is that a foot switch for the gun under the desk?
I've not seen a member of the Secret Service for many years, Mr. Bond. Not since the war. I learned from my friends you have a 00 number. They tell me you've had to kill a man in the course of some assignment. Whom have you been sent over to kill here? Not me, by any chance. Please, reply, Mr. Bond. I have confidence in the sources of my information. I shall easily detect a lie.
I believe you. Why am I here? I'll tell you. English gold coins circulating in America, Spanish, Italian. Some have been sold right here in Harlem. Your American Treasury asked for assistance in tracing them. I came up to see for myself with a Treasury representative. I hope he's now safely on his way back to his hotel.
Mr. Leiter is a representative of the CIA, not of the Treasury. His position at this moment is precarious. Excuse me. Send in Miss Solitaire. Oh, Teehee.
Yes, sir, boss.
Tie Mr. Bond to his chair.
What?
Sit down, Mr. Bond. You have a bare chance of survival if you stay where you are. Ankles and wrists. Good. Ah, here she is. Solitaire, come join us.
One of the most beautiful women Bond had ever seen. She moved slowly forward.
Solitaire, inspect this gentleman.
Very well.
Take him in slowly, inch by inch, head to foot. Take your time.
Yes, I have done so.
This is an extraordinary woman, Mr. Bond. I'm going to marry her.
Oh, my congratulations. She is, you are very beautiful.
She is a seer. I found her in a cabaret in Haiti. She was performing a telepathic act which I could not understand. There was nothing to understand. It was telepathy. I tell you this to warn you. She is my inquisitor. Torture is messy and inconclusive. People tell you what will ease the pain. With this girl, it is not necessary. She can divine the truth. She's too valuable to remain at liberty. It will be interesting to see our children. For the time being, she's difficult.
Difficult? What do you mean?
Well, she'll have nothing to do with men. In Haiti, she was called Solitaire. Will you not? See what I mean, Mr. Bond? Draw up a chair, my dear. Tell me if this man lies. Keep clear of the gun.
Please, look into my eyes.
My God, I'm drowning. Do they hold a message?
Sit up, miss. Too close. You forget yourself. Take up the cards.
Yes.
Between her hands, she faced the Knave of Hearts, then the Queen of Spades, holding the two halves in her lap so that the pair of court cards looked at each other. She brought them together until they touched.
So, a friend?
Are you ready, Solitaire?
The cards are ready.
Mr. Bond, look into the eyes of this girl and repeat the reason for your presence here.
Certainly. Well, Solitaire, there are coins circulating here in America, gold. Some are nobles of King Edward IV, being sold in Harlem. The American Treasury asked my service for help in tracking them down, since they must be from a British source. I am here to, have a look. Can she tell?
You must select a card.
All right.
Well, what has he chosen? What do you see? Does he lie?
3 of diamonds. Means honesty. No. He speaks the truth.
Excellent. Excuse me. Flannel, you there?
Yes, sir, boss. Flannel, right here.
Is Blabber holding that American?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Hurt him considerably. Ride him down to Bellevue Hospital, dump him nearby. Got that?
Yes, sir.
Don't be observed.
No, sir.
God damn your bloody eyes. The CIA won't let you get away with this.
You forget, Mr. Bond. CIA has no jurisdiction in America, only abroad.
Don't you believe it?
Tee-hee, come here.
Yes, sir, boss.
Which finger do you use least, Mr. Bond?
What's it to you?
The little finger of the left hand. Tee-hee, break it.
Sure thing, boss.
That will do.
Oh, the guy ain't got no sense of humor.
Did he have a gun?
Yes, sir, Beretta. Got it here.
Oh, girl's gun.
You're a fully paid up sadist, you know that.
Be thankful you're not dead. Pain is preferable. Here's your pea shooter. I have the shells. Give it back to him.
Yes, sir, boss.
I will explain why you have been permitted to enjoy the sensation of pain instead of adding to the pollution of the Harlem River. Mr. Bond, I suffer from boredom. I am a prey to what the early Christians called accident, the deadly lethargy that envelops those who are sated, who have no more... Tell Mr. Bond, Solitaire, no more what?
Desires.
Desires. And I am... what? Tell him.
You are preeminent in your chosen profession. You have literally no more worlds to conquer.
Since power is the goal of all ambition, Mr. Bond, I take pleasure now only in artistry, in the finesse which I can bring to my operations. Each day I set myself still higher standards, so that my proceedings may be a work of art, bearing my signature as clearly as the creations of, let us say, Solitaire?
Cellini.
Benvenuto Cellini. And?
And you are content, for the time being, to be your own judge.
Yes. Tell him more.
But he sincerely believes, Mr. Bond, that the perfection which he is steadily achieving in his operations will ultimately win him recognition in the history of our times.
I am fascinated, Solitaire, and slightly awestruck.
I accept anonymity for two reasons. First, yes?
Because the nature of your operations demands it.
And second?
Because you admire the self-negation of the anonymous artist.
Exactly. Which is why I like her to speak for me. If you will allow the conceit, I see myself sometimes as one of those great Egyptian fresco painters who devoted their lives to producing masterpieces in the tombs of kings, knowing that no living eye would ever see them. The reason, Mr. Bond, why I have not killed you this morning is because it would be a nuisance for me to have a lot of busybodies arriving here, asking questions about the disappearance of yourself and your friend, Mr. Leiter. Instead, one more solemn warning. You will leave the country today, and Mr. Leiter must transfer to another assignment. That is all. If I see you again, you will die in a manner as... What do I always say, Solitaire?
As ingenious and appropriate as you can devise on that day.
Thank you. I'm obliged.
Tee. Untie Mr. Bond and escort him to the garage. They will drive him to Central Park and throw him in the ornamental water. If he resists, he may be damaged, but not killed. Understood?
Yes, sir. Get up.
Goodbye. Those who deserve to die, die the death they deserve.
Raymond Chandler?
No, I just thought of it, actually. Au revoir, Solitaire.
Universal Export. Who's speaking, please?
New York calling London. You're connected, caller.
Can I speak to the, managing director, please? This is his nephew, James, ringing from New York.
Oh, yes. Jolly good. One moment, please.
Yes?
It's Jimmy, sir.
Jimmy? What?
Your nephew, James?
Oh, Jimmy. Of course, Jimmy.
I may need help over a tricky consignment, Uncle.
Really? Far away.
Well, I tooled uptown to see our chief customer last night. Bit unfortunate. 3 of his best chaps went sick.
How sick?
One of them as sick as can be. They gave me a lift after our meeting, bit of a late-night frolic in Central Park. This bloke caught a chill in the big pond. Others have been recommended bed rest.
Hope you didn't catch anything.
A slight fever, Uncle, that's all. Absolutely nothing to worry about. I'll write you about it. Trouble is that with all these viruses about, Federated think I'll do better out of town. Hoping to beetle off right away with, Flick.
Who?
Felicia. F-E-L-I-C-I-A. My new helpmeet from Washington.
Oh, yes.
Thought I'd try that factory you advised in San Pedro.
Good idea.
But Fedders may have other ideas, and I'm hoping you'll give me your support.
Right. How's business in general?
Rather spiffing, actually, Uncle. But tough going. Full report later today.
Good. Anything else?
No, that's all. Thanks for your backup.
That's all right. Keep fit, boy. Goodbye.
Toodle pip, Uncle.
What's the damage, James?
Broken finger. How about you?
Oh, nothing serious. Got to chatting with Mr. Blabbermouth about Duke Ellington, and suddenly we were friends. Gave me a gentle tap with a blackjack and dropped me outside Bellevue Hospital. We parted on the best of terms. What about your guys?
Pretty nasty trio. Our friend the Giggler, Miami Sam, he's the one who drowned, and somebody called Flannel.
Orders are we both got to quit town at once.
I assume so.
All fixed. Can't go together. You're taking the train, I'll fly. Jot this down.
Go ahead.
Pennsylvania Station. Track 14, 10:30 this morning. The Silver Phantom to St. Petersburg via Washington, Jacksonville, and Tampa. Compartment H, car 245. Very luxurious, James.
Ticket?
Conductor will have it. In the name of Bryce. Train gets in midday tomorrow. Take a cab to the Everglades Cabanas Sunset Beach, connected with St. Pete by a causeway. I'll be waiting for you. And for God's sake, watch out. Big man will get you if he possibly can.
Mr. James Bond,
Who's calling?
I know it's you. This is Solitaire.
Oh, yes?
Listen, I've got to be quick. You must trust me. I'm in a drugstore, but I have to get back to my room. Please believe me.
If I can reach Mr. Bond, what shall I tell him?
Oh, damn you! I swear by my unborn children, I've got to get away, and so have you. You've got to take me. I'll help you. I know a lot of his secrets. But be quick. I'm risking my life here talking to you. For God's sakes, trust me. You must. Trust me.
Must I?
Listen. If you don't take me, I shall kill myself. Do you want to murder me?
If this is a double-cross, Solitaire. Okay, be at Pennsylvania Station at 10:20 exactly. The Silver Phantom to Washington. Car 245, compartment H. You getting this?
Yes. Yes, 245, compartment H.
Say you're Mrs. Bryce. The conductor will have the ticket in case I'm not there already. Go straight to the compartment and wait for me. Got that?
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Don't be seen.
Of course. I promise. I really promise. I must go.
Switchboard, switchboard. All the railroads, all the airports. 5th Avenue and 55th Street doors of the San Regis. Big man says we got a chance the highways. Pass it down the line.
Now boarding. Silver Phantom, Washington, Jacksonville, Tampa, St. Petersburg.
Compartment H. Mr. Bryce, sir? Yes, sir. Mrs. Bryce just come aboard. Straight on down the corridor. I'm your attendant. My name is Samuel D. Baldwin. I'll be looking after you, sir.
Right. Thanks.
Who's that?
It's me.
Wait a moment.
Oh. Good morning.
Oh, thank God. Thank God.
Which seat would you like?
I don't mind. You choose?
Well, you face the way we're going.
I want to thank you. Let me kiss your hands.
Whoa.
No. Let me. Thank you. Thank you. It was difficult for you. Thank you for trusting me.
Well, I'm glad I did.
Here, let me. I'll light your cigarette. There.
I smoke too much. You're going to be busy.
Oh, I won't fuss over you the whole way to St. Petersburg.
Ah.
I know we're going further than Washington. He knew you would make for Florida. I heard him telling a man called the Robber, he said to watch the airport at Tampa. And the trains.
So what do you suggest?
Get off earlier? Maybe at Jacksonville. Did they see you?
Not that I know of. Have any trouble getting away?
My singing lesson. They'll be missing me in about an hour. I bought a toothbrush and a few other things at the drugstore. Otherwise, I've got nothing except my jewelry and the mad money I've always kept hidden. I won't be a financial burden. Thought I'd get my chance one day. You've given me a new life. Look out there. This is heaven.
Advertising hoardings and scrap iron dumps.
Bliss.
Anyway, we're quits. You saved my life last night. Have you really got second sight?
Something very like it. They're riddled with voodoo there. They think I'm a witch. But when I first saw you in that room, I knew you had been sent to save me. I saw all sorts of things.
What things?
Oh, I don't know. Danger. So will you please take good care of us?
I'll do my best. First thing is to get some rest. A late night, wasn't it? We'll get the attendant to put our beds down. No embarrassment. Anyway, you're Mrs. Bryce.
I have to collect another fare from you, Mr. Bryce.
Ah, of course.
No, I have the money.
It's all right, darling. You gave me your money to look after before we left the house. Here.
Thanks, Mr. Bryce. Guess the lady'll need plenty for her summer frocks. Expensive in St. Pete. You folks been to Florida before?
We always go at this time of year.
Huh. Enjoy. Have a pleasant trip. Plenty hot down there, too.
I like this little room. Which bed will you have?
The bottom one. I'd rather be close to the floor, just in case. Nothing to worry about, but your friend seems to have a pretty long arm. Do you mind?
Of course not. And you couldn't climb into the top one with your poor hand.
Yes?
Samuel D. Baldwin, sir, your attendant. Fix up the beds, Mr. Bryce, sir? Mistress Bryce?
Go ahead.
Oh, pardon me, ma'am. Not really enough room to swing a dead rat in. Perhaps Mistress Bryce would like to sit next door while I get the room done. Next room gonna be empty all the way to St. Pete.
Oh, sure.
Thank you, ma'am. Straight through here.
No problem. No problem at all.
Got something on your mind, Samuel?
Sure have, Mr. Bryce. Yeah, I'll fix the beds while we talk. Shouldn't be saying nothing, but you got yourself an enemy on this train. Can't say much, but you ought to watch yourself plenty good. Yes, sir, a certain party got the finger on you, Mr. Bryce, and that man is bad news. You better take these.
Wedges?
Push them under the doors. I can't do nothing else. Get my throat cut, but I don't like any fooling around with the customers in my car. No, sir.
But,
Can't help you no more, sir, but don't let nobody else in this room.
Right. Here.
Oh, thank you. I do all I can, sir. But they'll get me if I don't watch it. Sure will.
Okay, he's fixed everything. Come back in. Wanted to tell me his life story. I'll keep out of your way until you've climbed up to your nest. Call me when you're ready. No point in frightening her yet. But if this watcher discovers her identity...
Anything else I can get for you, Mr. and Mrs. Bryce? Well past Washington now.
What time do we get into Jacksonville?
Oh, around 5 in the morning, sir.
Is there a subway on the platform?
Yes, sir. This car stops right alongside.
Could you have the door open and the steps down pretty quick?
Yes, ma'am. I can take care of that.
Good. Just in case I miss you when we arrive at St. Petersburg.
Greatly appreciate your kindness, sir. Good night, sir. Night, ma'am. Don't forget the wedges, sir.
Of course not.
I see. So it's like that.
Afraid so. Someone on this train doesn't like us.
Maybe they saw you coming into the station. I wonder who it is. He can make these people do anything he likes.
How does it work? What's he got on them?
Hard to explain to someone who hasn't experienced the mystery of the drums, the mortal dread it inspires.
I know what fear can do to people.
So many of them believe the big man is the zombie of Baron Samedi. Zombies are bad enough themselves. Animated corpses risen from the dead to obey the commands of the person who controls them. Baron Samedi is the most dreadful spirit in the whole of voodooism. I guess you know what I'm talking about.
Baron Samedi in control of his own zombie is a particularly dreadful conception.
You know what Mr. Big looks like. And he has great power. The step is simple for them to believe that he is a zombie. There's hardly a man or woman who doesn't regard him with complete and absolute dread.
Where does Moscow come in? Is it true he's an agent of Smirch?
I don't know. I've heard him talking Russian to people. If Moscow does use him, they've got a hold of one of the most powerful men in America. And if he doesn't get what he wants, somebody gets killed.
Why doesn't someone kill him?
You can't kill him. He's already dead. He's a zombie.
I'm not sure if you're serious or not. Would you try?
Maybe. As a last resort. Though my instinct tells me I couldn't. What must I do?
Bed. 5 hours to Jacksonville. We'll slip off the train and chance being spotted. Find another way down to the coast.
Much later, a soft noise from the corridor.
Someone walking away.
A sheet of paper under the door.
What's this? O witch, do not slay me, spare me. His is the body, the divine drummer declares that when he rises with the dawn, he will sound his drums for you in the morning, very early. Very early we are addressing you, and you will understand. Will I? Maybe I do. How does the old rhyme go? I know a man, what man, voodoo man, who do you do, voodoo, what? Know a man? Or something. Oh, grow up, James. Come on, get a grip. Okay, this is what we'll do. Off the train at Jacksonville, get the next train through to St. P, get off the stop before at Clearwater, then cab to the address on Treasure Island.
A large man with a face pitted by smallpox was held up at the lights in his truck, exactly at the time Bond and Solitaire's cab waited there. The truck driver recognized Solitaire's profile. A minute later, he was calling a St. Petersburg number from a phone booth.
Robert, this is Poxy.
Yeah?
Listen, big man must be in town.
No, he ain't, dummy. Just talked to him in New York.
What do you mean? I just seen this gal in a Clearwater cab heading over the causeway.
You certain?
Sure am, Robert couldn't mistake. A lot of eye for.
Who's she with?
Blue suit, gray Stetson, scar down his face.
You follow him?
What do you mean follow him? I just couldn't believe you wouldn't tell me the big man was in town if he was. Look, I'm checking to make sure.
Dumbbell, you better catch that cab when he comes over the causeway.
Okay.
Or else at Clearwater, dope.
Okay, keep your shirt on, Robert. I ain't done nothing wrong.
You better find him, lame brain. I'm calling big man now.
Damn it.
The Everglades Hotel is a group of neat white and yellow bungalows set on three sides of a square of Bahama grass, which runs down to a bone-white beach and then to the sea. From there, the whole Gulf of Mexico stretches away, calm as a mirror.
Mr. Bryce. Oh, yes, I'm Mrs. Stuyvesant, the owner, the manager. Your cabana number 1, right on the beach. Mr. Leiter's down there. He's been expecting you since lunchtime. And this is?
Mrs. Bryce.
Oh, really? Well, if you care to sign the register, I'm sure you and Mrs. Bryce would like to freshen up after the journey. Full address, please. This way. Okay, follow my finger. No, this way.
Oh, my God.
You haven't met my wife, I think.
No, I mean, yes. How do you do? Get in here. And you.
I hope you have a happy...
Yeah, thanks. Sit down. Wait a minute, I'll get this. Yeah, speaking. He's here. Just walked in. No, all in one piece. Not sure. Where did you leave the Phantom? Jacksonville. Yeah, I'll say. Will you call off homicide? Appreciate it. And New York. Much obliged. Whew. Guess you're Solitaire. Pardon the rough welcome. Second time in around 24 hours I didn't expect to see this guy again. Okay to go ahead, James?
Solitaire's batting for us now. Give us the headlines.
Well, the Phantom was stopped soon after Jacksonville. Your compartment was Tommy gunned and bombed, blown to bits. Killed the Pullman attendant who was in the corridor at the time.
Oh, my God.
No other casualties. Hell of an uproar going on. Who did it? Who's Mr. Bryce? Who's Mrs. Bryce? Where are they? We thought you'd been snatched. Should have heard Washington. Anybody think it was me bombed the goddamn train. Then you walk in with a pretty girl on your arm as happy as a clam. Boy. Hey, what's that?
Note under the compartment door before we made our exit.
Oh, which do not slay me. Ooh.
Voodoo.
Meant to be found on the corpse, I guess. To look like ritual murder by friends of the guys you bumped in Harlem. Take the heat right off the big man.
Let me see. Yes. It's a wanga. A voodoo fetish. Invocation to the drum witch when they want to kill someone. Glad you didn't tell me about it.
I didn't much care for it myself. Lucky we got off at Jacksonville.
Poor Baldwin.
Anyone spot you when you left the train?
I don't think so. Better keep Solitaire undercover until we can get her out. We'll fly you over to Jamaica tomorrow. I can get you looked after there until we come on.
Sure. Too late to do anything today.
That all right?
I guess so. I must go and tidy myself. You've got plenty to talk about.
Of course. Guess you'd better take James's room and he can bed down in here. Just down the hall. That's it.
Thank you.
I'll tell you what, James. There's no doubt that gold gets into the States through this place. We've tracked the secretary again and again. She just comes straight over from Jamaica and docks at that worm factory. Roboras or whatever it's called?
Ouroboros.
Yeah.
The great worm of mythology. Good name for it. Of course. Ouroboros. The robber. According to Solitaire, that's Mr. Big's man down here. Must be the same.
Christ almighty, gotta be. Let's go look the place over. Secretary always docks at their wharf. She's in Cuba now, by the way. Cleared from here a week ago. They searched her good and proper when she came in and when she left. Nothing, let alone a stack of gold coins. Anyway, see if we can get a look at our robber friend. Solitaire's not to move till we get back. No way they could trace her here. She'll be more than safe. Waterfront. Better get out and walk. Robber's place is beyond the seaplane base by the jetty.
Ouroboros, Inc. Live worm and bait merchants. Coral, shells, tropical fish, conches. Wholesale only.
Is that him?
A man sitting outside the warehouse on a kitchen chair, cleaning a rifle.
Remington 3-0, it looks like.
Well, if he isn't the robber, it's a blood relation. Afternoon. You the manager of this wharf?
Yep.
Any chance of mooring my boat here? Basin's pretty crowded.
Nope.
Would 20 talk?
Nope.
Hey, you want to watch your manners?
What's the name of your boat?
The Sybil.
Ain't no such boat in the basin.
Been there a week. 60-foot twin-screw diesel. Rigged for fishing.
I say, would you mind lowering your rifle? It's pointing right at my stomach. Thanks. What the hell do you do that for?
Practice. Just a goddamn pelican.
I'm guessing there's a branch of the ASPCA in this town.
Want to be prosecuted for trespass? Now get the hell out of here. You both got guns. I can smell them. You come around here again, you follow the bird. And I plead self-defense. I've had a belly full of you lousy dicks around here breathing down my neck. Sybil my ass.
Round one to the robber.
Well, there's never been a warehouse with only one entrance.
Yeah. Save that for next time.
Oh, am I glad you're back, gentlemen. Pardon me, but I'm afraid we don't allow music here. I can't have the other guests disturbed at all hours.
Sorry, Mrs. Stuyvesant, I don't get you.
That big, what do you folks call it, radiogram you'd sent around. Well, the men could hardly get the packing case through the door.
What? Nothing disturbed.
They must have just stood there with guns in their hands.
Knocked her out, shoved her into the case, nailed it up.
How was she traced so quickly?
That's the big man's machine. Sorry. Get me an outside line. Look, James, while I sew this up with Washington, get what you can from the old battle axe. You say it was a burglary and Solitaire skipped with the men. She'll understand that. Want to avoid a scandal. Say we feel the same way.
Skip with the men? That's possible too, but I don't think so.
James, got to thinking. It's 5 a.m. I don't feel like sleep. Going to visit the Worm and Bait store. Same old early bird. Odd that trick-shot robber artist was sitting there while S was being snatched, as if he knew we were in town and ready for trouble in case the snatch went wrong. If I'm not back by 10, call out the militia. Felix.
Yes?
Mr. Bryce?
Who is it?
Mountain Park Hospital. Emergency ward. Dr. Roberts. We have a Mr. Leiter here who's asking for you. Can you come right over?
What's happened?
Nothing to worry about. Automobile accident. Looks like a hit and run. Slight concussion. Can you come over? He wants to see you. Sorry.
Dr. Roberts?
Dr. Which?
Dr. Roberts, emergency ward. Patient called Leiter, Felix Leiter, brought in this morning.
No doctor called Roberts here. And no patient called Leiter. What did you say your name was?
Bryce, John Bryce.
I'm sorry, Mr. Bryce. Must be some mistake. No cases during the night, and we don't have a Dr. Roberts. Or a Mr. Leiter. You sure you got the right hospital?
No. Wrong.
Mr. Bryce, your poor friend. Really, he should be more careful.
Sorry, Mrs. Stuyvesant, what do you mean?
What? The ambulance came just after you left. Seems Mr. Leiter was in an accident with his car. They had to carry him to the cabana on a stretcher. Such a nice man in charge. He said Mr. Leiter mustn't be disturbed on any account. Poor man, face all covered. They said a doctor would be coming later if there's anything I can do.
God. Dirty bandages. Blood. Everything's soaked in blood. He disagreed with something that ate him. Very funny. Bastards.
We sent a squad car down to the robber's place, Mr. Bond. Went over it with a tooth comb. Nothing but tanks of fish and bait and cases of shells. Alibis checked. Solid as the Empire State. How's your patient, Doc?
I think he'll live, Detective, but it's 50-50. They certainly did a job on the poor guy. Darned if I know what did it. The only thing I can think of, an animal or a big fish. Something's been tearing at him. Know a bit more when we get him to the hospital.
What are your plans?
Well, I'll have to talk to Washington. I'll need Leiter's car, by the way.
Sure. Records are finished with it. Yeah? Who? Oh, okay. It's for you, Mr. Bond. Your uncle?
Oh, yes. What ho, Uncle?
Well, Jimmy, I gather from our pals that, Flick hasn't been too well.
Afraid not. Bally trip has proved too grueling.
Yes, well, the Manhattan branch will be glad if you could move on to Jamaica.
Certainly will, Uncle. Pronto. There's a plane due out tomorrow.
Good. I heard the big gentleman and his solitary lady left for Havana during the night.
Havana? Private charter, probably.
No doubt. And that splendid yacht is still there. Too bad about Flick. Sorry things have been so hectic. Bye.
Pip, pip, Uncle.
Pip, pip? What's that all about? You British kill me.
Eastern Garden Aquarium. This is Connie. Can I assist you?
My name is Bryce. I'm here in St. Petersburg. I was wondering where I could buy a live shark to keep in a ornamental lagoon.
Only place I ever heard of is right near you now, Mr. Bryce. The Robberos Worm and Bait. They got sharks. Big ones.
Oh, good.
Do business with foreign zoos and such like. White, tiger, even hammerheads. They'll be glad to help you, I'm sure. Costs a lot to feed 'em.
I know. Thanks.
You're welcome. Anytime you're passing. Bye.
A bright moonlit night. The south wall of the Ouroboros warehouse. Bond was equipped for entry. A minute later, he was moving along the concrete floor of the warehouse, flashlight in hand.
Aquarium fish section. Living jewelry. Swordtails, paradise, exotic goldfish. Poison fish. Torpedo skates. Horse killer eel. Interesting. Mud on the bottom occupies nearly half the tank. Yes. Scorpion fish. Pocket knife.
Leaning over the tank, he aimed at the center of the craggy head, pinning the fish down as the tail threshed wildly. He drew the fish up the side of the tank and whipped it out onto the floor. Then he plunged his hand deep into the center of the mud and sand.
They're here. Rows of them. Under the mud.
He pulled out a coin.
Gold. Head of Philip II. Must be 1,000 in this one tank. $20,000 worth. Brought in by the secretary a week ago. Thousands of dollars of gold per trip.
Don't move an inch. Here are my sights. Raise your hands.
All the lights in the warehouse suddenly blazed on. Bond took a rolling dive under the tank. He had his Beretta out and loosed off 2 shots.
Hey, Lively, come on out or I'll start using pineapples. But expecting you.
Guess I gotta give up. Only because you smashed one of my ankles.
Drop your gun. Walk toward me with your hands up. We'll have a talk.
Guess I've no option. I'm on my way.
The robber was resting 1 foot casually on a small obstruction in the cement floor.
Higher!
He kicked something sharply sideways, and a section of the floor opened up.
Of course. I know what happened to Leiter.
Oh, Christ, I gotta sit down.
But then Bond raced forward. His right foot lashed out, kicking the rifle out of the robber's hands. Bond launched himself at the man's stomach. The man fell, almost disappearing down the black opening of the wide trapdoor. His hands gripped the edge of the floor.
Hammerhead or tiger shark?
You pull me out. Give me a break. Pull me out. I can't hold much longer. I'll do anything you want. Tell you anything.
What happened to Solitaire?
Big man did it. 2 men in Tampa. She came to no harm. Let me out, pal.
And the American, Leiter?
His fault. He just fell through this trap. Accident. I swear. We pulled him out before he's finished. He'll be okay. Help me.
I got the note you sent with his half-eaten body. You bastard. Get back! Get back down!
John Strangways, chief MI6 agent on Jamaica, was at the airport to meet Bond. Half an hour later, they were settled on the comfortable veranda of Strangway's neat white house outside Kingston.
It was always thought, Bond, that the secret lay somewhere on the Isle of Surprise. Your continuing health.
For 2 centuries of diving and digging, cheers, yielded precisely nothing.
Spot on. Then, 6 months ago, a young fisherman disappeared from the village of Shark Bay here. Never heard of again. Days later, we learned a New York syndicate had purchased the island. A few weeks after the sale, the yacht Secreteur put into Shark Bay, dropped anchor in Pirate Bloody Morgan's old anchorage in the lee of the isle. Talk about surprise. Oh, actually, the island is really just a lump of coral that surges up out of the centre of the bay. You'll see it tomorrow. Jungly plateau on top, only 300 yards from the mainland. Well, on their first arrival, the crew pretty well straight away cut a stairway in the rock face of the island and erected a number of shanty dwellings on the summit. They'd apparently explained to customs they were there to catch tropical fish and collect rare shells for that St. Petersburg place I could never pronounce.
Ouroboros, Inc.
Oh, that's it. Thanks. And then the Secreteur began a fortnightly shuttle service. Consignments of portable fish tanks were taken aboard.
Anyone succeed in landing on the Isle by daylight?
Sadly, no. Some would-be treasure hunter tried swimming out at night, and what was left of him was washed back over the reef the next day. And look here, at about the time he should have reached the isle, the whole village of Shark Bay was awakened by the most horrible din from across the water. It seemed to come from inside the island, the beating of voodoo drums. From that moment, the isle was, whatchamacallit?
Juju?
God, you know your stuff, Bond.
You made a full report to London.
You bet. And they told me the syndicate was wholly owned by your pal, Mr. Big. I was ordered to penetrate the isle, find out what was what. Tricky. First thing I did was to rent a property on the western arm of Shark Bay, directly across from the Secretair's anchorage up against Surprise. And then...
Not good.
No. Ghastly. I brought down 2 very fine swimmers from Bermuda, sent them out with instructions to make an underwater survey of the foundations of the isle. An hour after they left to swim across the 300 yards, the drumming started up, somewhere inside the cliffs of the island. My men did not return. The next day, they were both washed up at different parts of the bay, or rather, the remains left by the shark and barracuda.
Hang on. Shark and barracuda? They're not generally savage in these waters. I don't believe they attack humans unless there's blood in the water.
Bingo. And my men had harpoons and knives. The rotten business. We've tried to get legitimate access to the isle. The trouble is, they have pretty good protection in Washington, of all places, and London told me to hang on till you came. So, any thoughts?
What about the Secreteur?
It's still in Cuba, sailing in a week.
How many trips has she done?
Try 20.
That's probably $1 million in gold already.
I've made some provisional arrangements for you, the house overlooking the anchorage, and a good man to act as your factotum. He's a Cayman Islander called Quarrel. He was the best swimmer and fisherman in the Caribbean. He's getting on now, but don't let that fool you. You could get in a bit of training until the Secretary arrives. You need to be fit if you're going to try to get over to Surprise. Is there anything else I can fix?
Yes. Frogman suits, underwater harpoon guns. Oh, yes. And a limpet mine.
Golly. Anything else?
Shark repellent.
Doing great, Captain. Beached the canoe. These are the kind of waters you'll find in Shark Bay. So next, underwater hunting.
Oh, bloody hell, I already swam a mile before breakfast.
Spear and mats, Captain. Let's go. Keep close. Don't fight the sea.
Sorry, old habits die hard, Quarrel.
Just give and take with the currents. Don't struggle against them.
Right. Judo tactics.
You got it, Captain. Let's shoot that 10-pounder. Mean fish barracuda. Worst battery of teeth in the sea.
Yeah, certainly don't like the way he keeps glaring at us.
Give me the harpoon. Follow me. Got your spear?
Wouldn't leave home without it.
Oh, didn't do so good. Thanks, Captain. You saved me. We shoot no more kudas. But for you, I'd been in hospital. Maybe lost my face. Should have swam towards it. It goes away. They're cowards like all fish. Don't worry about the teeth. You never see them again.
Hope not. I haven't got a face to spare.
Well, I tell you, you're ready for surprise, Captain. Try tomorrow night.
Hear that? Wind's dropping.
Palm trees to a whisper. Undertaker's wind.
How's that?
On and offshore breeze, sailors call it. The Undertaker blew the bad air out of the island night times from 6 till 6. Then every morning, doctor's wind. Come and blew the sweet air in from the sea. Guess you and Undertaker got much the same job, Captain.
Evening, Bond. Good news. Your friend Felix Leiter's going to be all right. At least he's not going to die. They called me up this morning. His message to you, sorry not to be there, don't get your feet as wet as I did.
Tell him to get well quickly. Now, what about that gear?
All lined up. Secretary arrives tomorrow, should anchor before nightfall. Mr. Biggs on board. And they've got a woman with them, a girl called Solitaire, according to the CIA. You know anything about her?
I'd like to get her away from him. She's not one of his team.
Sort of damsel in distress? Good show. CIA says she's a corker. Sorry?
What? Nothing. So much to play for. Treasure, defeat of a great criminal, smashing a communist spy ring, and Solitaire.
Secretary cleared customs at Port Maria, Bond. She's through the reef now and making fast. Let's go down a bit closer.
Right.
Customs reports scores of empty fish tanks on board. Again.
Put your glasses on her, Captain.
Yeah. About 20 feet of water below her keel.
And there's your big pal going up the cliff steps. Is that the girl?
Yes.
I say, there go the fish tanks. Golly, what a chore. Handed up one by one.
They're not offloading many stores this time.
Curious. You coming up for a last supper, Bond?
They're working with the lights now, Captain. Fish tanks coming down now, half full of water and sand. Passing back to the ship, loading her up already.
They're cleaning the place out. I bet this is their last cargo.
One tank every 5 minutes, Mr. Stringways. Be through by 4 in the morning, won't sail before 6. Too dangerous for 'em. Try the passage through the reef without plenty light.
I'll start a tent sharp tonight, from the rocks to the left of the beach. Conditions are perfect. Quarrel, give me time fuses for 5 to 8 hours.
Aye, Captain.
Pass the scotch, Stringways.
Oh, steady, old bean.
Do you think I'm mad? What do you mean? Well, I'm about to strap a limpet mine to my chest. I've got a dagger in the belt of my frogman suit, an underwater harpoon gun in my left hand. And you're about to take a late-night swim. I know. You must be crazy.
Go safely, Captain. Go safely.
No big fish about. Nothing to shoot at. Keep going. Remember your training, James.
Keep your face a few inches above the sand. Head well down. Streamline your body.
Oh, stingray. Make a good ping-pong table.
Rays never attack except in self-defense.
That's comforting. Out of my way. Squid's chorus line. Chicken. Bye. Key to the secretary. Okay. 7-hour time fuse. Into the fuse pocket of the mine. And done. Whew. Weight off my chest. Oh, charming brace of barracudas. Sea's turning red. Oh, God. Our friends above spraying the surface with awful bloodlust. Oh, no. Oh, shit. 20-pounder. All I need.
The barracuda backed away, black rubber and flesh hanging from its jaws.
Okay. Hang on.
A wide opening in the rocks in front of him.
Oh, well, I gotta give it a go. Underwater chamber. Well, that's it. I've been spotted. Swim through, I suppose, if only to stop Solitaire sailing in the doomed ship. What now?
Two men manhandled Bond out of the pool onto flat sand.
Oh. How nice. If it isn't Mr. T and Master Blabbermouth. How's things, dumb guy?
Don't waste your breath.
What is this? Fingal's Cave?
Good morning, Mr. James Bond. It is morning, isn't it?
Morning, Big.
You left a pretty wake of bubbles.
6 men stood there, and at their feet,
a treasure trove.
Impressed, Mr. Bond?
A blazing sea of gold coin. Not yours, though. Treasure house of Bloody Morgan.
Stop the drums, Teehee. Yes, sir, boss. Just a portable phonograph, Mr. Bond. And amplifier, of course. Now get on with the work. Yes, sir, boss. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Bring him up, Teehee. Yes, sir. Move.
Oh, well. Baron Samedi is left in charge. Only his zombie mounts the stairs.
James!
It's all right, Solitaire. What's the bastard been doing to you?
Get me some rope. Yes, sir.
You're bleeding. What is it?
Tie them up. Here, under the light. I have things to say to them. You are the best of those that have been sent against me, Bond. You have achieved the death of at least 2 of my people. My followers find this incredible. The treachery of this girl has also brought my infallibility in question. It is convenient you should die together. At 6 a.m. Give or take a few minutes.
Let's give those minutes. I enjoy my life.
My kind patron, Sir Henry Morgan's method, keel hauling.
Oh, yes?
We have a paravane on board the yacht, used for trawling for shark. It rides on the end of a cable. I intend to bind you both to a line, streamed from this water kite, and tow you through the sea until you are eaten by sharks. Shut up, Teehee.
Yes, sir, boss. If you kill us, your own death will follow. Are you mad?
Solitaire?
Death. I don't know. Who? I can't see it. There is much death. But...
Solitaire.
It is so near. So close.
I am not mad, Mr. Bond. Shark and Barracuda play a role in voodoo. They will have their sacrifice. My people will be satisfied.
Oh, my. Baron Samedi will be appeased.
I wish also to continue my experiments. I believe carnivorous fish only attack when there's blood in the water.
You should know.
You will be towed together from the isle. I doubt you'll be harmed inside the reef, but when you are dragged across the coral, you will bleed. Living bait. And then we will see if my theory is proved correct. Open! A short but very good night to you both.
Solitaire. Good news and not so good. I placed a limpet mine against the side of the ship. Time to explode minutes after 6 a.m. If we're to have any chance, the yacht has to sail at dead-on 6.
It will. His mania for exactitude.
And if there's cloud?
The Secretary couldn't make it through the reef. He'd postpone the sailing.
She has to sail on the dot of 6.
And if we're still on the jetty alongside the ship, we'd be killed with him.
One way of putting it.
But if we leave on time?
I guess we'd be towed 20 or 30 yards behind the paravane, so hauled over the outer reef about 50 yards after Secretary clears the passage.
And if the mine explodes while we're still in the water?
Well, who knows? The reef might protect us.
Too many things I can't see. But I am happy to be with you again. I'm not afraid. Although there is much death. Very close.
It's already tight.
Bind them together. Tie strips around his shoulder. I don't want blood in the water yet.
You bastard.
Their legs can stay free. They'll make appetizing bait.
Ready, boss.
Good. I'm satisfied. All aboard. Let's go.
Look out. We're off. Breathe! Breathe, Solitaire! Now hold your breath. I've got to have a look. Ready? Going about 3 knots, sweeping away in a slow arc. The Secretary's entering the passage through the reef. About 80 yards away. 60 yards to the reef. 40 before we hit the coral. Oh, Secretary's just through. Must be past 6. What's happened to that blasted mine? God save us. They're getting underway. Beyond the reef. Breathe, Solitaire. 20 yards to the reef. God, Jesus Christ, before it. We stopped. It's okay. The reef. 5 yards away. We can just... That's it. On top. Lean back.
Did we make it?
Well, look. Look out to sea.
No sign of... Secretary.
The fuse worked. I'm impressed. They're drowning. Except this big head.
His theory was correct, James.
Captain! Captain! Yeah, Captain!
I say, Bond. Relative of yours, I believe.
Ah. Hello, Uncle.
We got your report, Jimmy. Passed it on to Auntie in Washington. Harlem branch is being contacted.
And in St. Petersburg?
Correct. So, James, you and the girl got lucky then.
Sorry, sir?
Came out alive, I mean.
Ah, it was my trainer, actually, that rescued us, with a few other canoeists behind him from Shark Bay. No survivors from the Secretary.
Oh, reasonable. Presume you filed a claim to the treasure on our behalf.
Doing that now, Bond.
Absolutely, Uncle.
So proceed immediately with salvage.
Salvage target divers on their way.
All in hand, sir.
Splendid. Word's already out about the shark and barracuda that, defended Morgan's treasure.
Seems they,
Had the right attitude after all. Well done, 007. Fortnight's passionate leave granted.
I suppose he means compassionate.
I expect so. I made a full report of the damage to you and to, the girl. She's out there, by the way.
So like the old devil to think of the gold first.
And while Strangways went off to file the claim, Bond got up and walked painfully out onto the veranda.
James?
So, what do you see?
I see travel.
For whom?
I don't know. I feel action and speed.
What else?
I see a winner.
Good. Anything else?
messy life.
In Live and Let Die by Ian Fleming, Toby Stephens played James Bond, Rutina Wesley played Solitaire, and Mr. Big was played by Kevin Daniels. Strangways, Jonathan Cake, M. John Standing, Quarrel, Ron Cephas Jones. Felix Leiter, Josh Stamberg, The Robber, James Morrison, Samuel D. Baldwin, John Cothran, Captain Dexter, J.D. Cullum, Detective Halloran, Jake Green, Teehee, Michael A. Shepard, The Whisperer and Blabber, Levinsky Jean-Baptiste. Mrs. Stuyvesant, Anna Matthias, MC and Maitre D, Gilbert Glenn Brown, Connie and Operator, Anna Louise Plowman, Gigi and Waitress, Janine Barris, Flannel and Conductor, Larry Powell. Other parts were played by Darren Richardson, Alan Shearman, Andre Siluzzo, Matthew Wolfe, and members of the cast. Martin Jarvis was the voice of Ian Fleming. Specially composed music, Mark Holden and Julian Nicholson. Live and Let Die was dramatised by Archie Scottney, directed by Martin Jarvis, and is a Jarvis and Ayres production.